Namaste, and welcome back to Ananta Anviksha, Infinite Inquiry. In the grand, sprawling tapestry of the Mahabharata, amidst gods, demons, sages, and warriors, there are figures who resonate with a particular poignancy, whose lives serve as crucibles for the epic's most profound questions. Today, we turn our gaze to one such character, Karna, often hailed for his unparalleled generosity, his unmatched skill in archery, and his unwavering loyalty. Karna's life is a saga of tragic heroism. But it also forces us to ask a deeply unsettling question. Was Karna, arguably one of the Mahabharata's greatest heroes, ultimately denied and failed by the very concept he often sought to uphold, Dharma? Did the cosmic law of righteousness itself become an instrument of his suffering? Karna's story begins with a secret, a shadow cast over his life from the moment of his birth. Born to Kunti before her marriage to Pandu, through a boon from the sun god, Surya, he was an illegitimate child in an era where lineage defined destiny. Fearing societal shame, Kunti, a young unwed mother, set the infant Karna adrift in a river, encased in a basket. A story that echoes with abandonment, with a mother's desperate choice, and a son's unknowing loss. He was found and raised by Adharatha, a charioteer, and his wife Radha. Thus, he became known as Radhaya, the Sutaputra, the son of a charioteer. Though loved by his adoptive parents, this identity would become a constant source of humiliation and denial in a society rigidly structured by caste. He possessed the innate qualities of a kshatriya, a warrior prince. The divine armor and earrings he was born with were testament to his celestial parentage. Yet, he was consistently barred from the respect and opportunities afforded to those of noble birth. Think about this: a man of immense talent, natural prowess, and a kingly demeanor, constantly told he is not worthy because of his perceived low birth. When he sought to learn advanced archery from Dronacharya, the royal preceptor, he was often sidelined or subtly rebuffed because he wasn't a prince of the Kuru lineage. He then sought Parashurama, who taught only Brahmins or sannyasins. Karna lied about his identity to gain this knowledge. When the truth was revealed, Parashurama cursed him, decreeing that Karna would forget the crucial mantras for his most powerful weapons at the moment he needed them most. Curse after curse seemed to follow Karna. He was cursed by a Brahmin for accidentally killing his cow, ensuring his chariot wheel would get stuck in the earth at a critical moment. He was cursed by Mother Earth herself for disturbing her. Each curse seems to stem from an unfortunate accident or a moment of human failing. Yet the repercussions were disproportionately severe, almost as if fate, or perhaps Dharma itself, was conspiring against him. And what of his legendary generosity, his Daanaveer? The most famous instance is when Indra, disguised as a Brahmin, approached Karna on the eve of the Kurukshetra war. Indra sought Karna's divine kavacha, armor, and kandala earrings, which made him virtually invincible. Karna, knowing this would render him vulnerable, knowing it was a trick by the father of his rival Arjuna, still gave them away. He could not refuse a Brahmin's request. Was this adherence to the Dharma of giving, even when it meant self-destruction? Or was it a tragic flaw, an inability to see beyond the letter of the law to its spirit, especially when manipulated? His loyalty to Duryodhana is another complex facet. Duryodhana was the only one who recognized Karna's worth when others scorned him, making him the king of Anga. Karna's gratitude and loyalty to Duryodhana were absolute. He sided with the Kauravas, even when he suspected, and later knew, that they were on the path of Dharma. Was this loyalty a virtue, or did it blind him to the larger injustices being perpetrated? Can loyalty to an individual, however deep, supersede one's commitment to universal Dharma? The Mahabharata constantly presents these excruciating moral dilemmas. Ultimate revelation of Karna's true parentage, that Kunti was his mother and the Pandavas his half-brothers, came too late on the eve of the war. Kunti pleaded with him to switch sides. Krishna too tried to persuade him, promising him the throne and Draupadi. Karna refused. He would not betray Duryodhana. He would not abandon the one who had stood by him. He chose loyalty over the promise of kingship, over reconciliation with his biological family. A noble choice, a tragic one, or both. Now let's consider Dharma's role. Dharma is often translated as righteousness, duty, cosmic law. But in Karna's life, it often seemed to manifest as a series of cruel paradoxes. His adherence to the Dharma of a warrior meant he had to fight. His adherence to the Dharma of gratitude meant he had to fight for Duryodhana. The Dharma of societal norms denied him his rightful place for years. The curses he received were often for minor infractions, yet they had devastating consequences, almost as if the rules of Dharma applied more harshly to him. Was Dharma, in Karna's case, a rigid, unyielding code that failed to account for the nuances of his birth, his suffering, and his inherent nobility? Or was Karna's tragedy a result of his own choices, his pride, his inability to forgive the slights, or his association with Dharma through Duryodhana? The Mahabharata doesn't offer simple answers. Karna is not a flawless hero. He participated in Draupadi's humiliation, a grave act of Dharma. He often let his bitterness and resentment cloud his judgment. Yet, his inherent greatness shines through his flaws. He is the epitome of the tragic hero, a man of immense potential, brought down by a combination of fate, societal prejudice, his own choices, and perhaps by the very system of Dharma he tried to navigate. When Krishna reveals Karna's true identity and asks why, despite knowing the Pandavas were righteous, he still chose to fight for Duryodhana, Karna's response is heartbreaking. He speaks of the constant humiliation, the denial of his identity, and Duryodhana's unwavering friendship. It's a human response, born of pain and loyalty. So was Karna denied by Dharma? Or does his story illustrate a more complex truth, that Dharma itself is not always a clear path, that its interpretation and application can be fraught with difficulty, and that sometimes, Even the noblest intentions can lead to tragic outcomes within its framework. Does Karna's life serve as a critique of a Dharma that becomes too rigid, too tied to birth and social status, rather than innate virtue and actions? Karna's death is one of the most moving sequences in the epic. His chariot wheel stuck, his memory of vital mantras failing him due to Parashurama's curse. He is slain by Arjuna, unarmed and vulnerable, an act that itself skirts the edges of Kshatriya Dharma. Even in death, the sun seemed to mourn him. Karna's life poses an eternal question for Ananta Anviksha to ponder. What is true heroism? Is it flawless adherence to code? Or is it the struggle, the resilience, the generosity displayed even in the face of overwhelming adversity and systemic injustice? Does Karna, in his magnificent, flawed, and tragic glory, teach us more about the complexities of Dharma and human existence than many of the epic's more straightforwardly righteous characters? Perhaps Karna wasn't denied by Dharma as much as he exposed its intricate, sometimes contradictory, and often painful workings in a world far from perfect. His life is a mirror reflecting the struggle between individual merit and societal prejudice, personal loyalty and universal ethics, destiny and free will. What are your reflections on Karna? A victim of fate, a flawed hero, or a testament to the human spirit's enduring fight for dignity and recognition, even when the cosmic scales seem unfairly tipped? Thank you for joining us on Ananta Anviksha. We encourage you to continue this inquiry in your own thoughts. Until next time, keep questioning.